The best description for taxidermy would be looking at the name itself. Taxi meaning movement and dermy meaning skin. Often people will say it's a stuffed animal, and actually it's not. There are very artistic sculptures under that skin. It's not a stuffed animal, it's actually mounted on an armature or mounted on a mannequin. I'm Larry Blomquist with the World Taxidermy and Fish Carving Championship. Basically, we're trying to replicate as closely as possible a live animal.
Hello, my name's Jack Fishwick. I'm from Wigan, Lancashire, England, and I'm here as the international judge at the World Taxidermy Championships. The hardest part that I find about judging these things is trying to be fresh every 5 or 10 minutes. Every time I come to a piece, I look at something and I have to look at it with fresh eyes. 3, 4 hours, 8 hours into the judging, 2 days into the judging, I must still approach each one as if it's the first time I've ever seen that type of bird, that type of animal, and I have to look at it with fresh eyes. I can't be jaded, and we have to give them our finest judgment.
It's an artistic profession, and you do have to have a certain amount of artistic ability to be able to really accomplish and do the best taxidermy.
Being a good taxidermist means quite a few things. Many of the people here, when they start, they're interested in taxidermy. But as you get more and more involved in the field, you realize that the interest should be from the opposite side. You should come here as a naturalist, someone who's interested in the wildlife, either going out hunting, bird watching, fishing, and your interest should be the actual live animal. Taxidermy comes later. You really have to have this in-depth knowledge of how the animal reacts, how it behaves, how it moves, how it hunts, fishes. And then you need to put that into your taxidermy. You also need a great in-depth knowledge of art, design, composition.
My name's Michael Alm. I'm from Seattle, Washington, and I came here as an artist to do a research trip and see some really terrific sculptors. There's a lot of interesting techniques that they're employing to build these animals. Really, it's just a skin. That's all that there is of the animal. So all the rest is up to the taxidermist to reconstruct.
I'm John Schmidt from Woonsocket, South Dakota, and I'm entered here into the live sculpting competition. And underneath this is actually bone. We start with a bone armature. And we have 22 hours to finish this project. Right now we're sitting at about 1 hour and 40 minutes, somewhere in there, left. This is a raccoon, and what he's doing is he's climbing down into a wood duck house. And there's a little hole in the front, and there's like a ledge hanging over like this, and a little hole down here, and he's kind of climbing down in there, trying to see if there's a duck in there or some eggs or something. And I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there that are familiar with that situation. This is going to be molded and then mass produced in a Eurofoam. And then it'll be sold to anybody who wants this mannequin in the future.
One of the critical areas to be able to accomplish and perform good taxidermy is a total understanding of anatomy. If you don't understand anatomy, attitude, and behavior of an animal, you're going to have a very difficult time replicating a lifelike piece.
A lot of the taxidermists here are biological experts on how animals move and their shapes and their musculature and bone structure and the way the skin lies. And the people here who know a lot about birds, they know how every feather lays on the surface of that bird skin because they've gone out and they've hunted them, they've seen them in wildlife, in nature, and they've just studied them so extensively.
Here at the World Taxidermy Championships, we see many strange things. Not necessarily weird and wonderful, but it's just sometimes the interpretation.
That's one of the unique things of coming and visiting a show like this, is you get to see animals that in many instances you don't even see in zoos. And when you come to a world show, you're seeing pieces that are really comparable or equal or even better than many of the museums dioramas you see around the country.
Because we're all from different nations around the world, we each have our own ideas of what is normal or what is artistic or what is desirable. It's difficult to summarize what each individual is trying to capture. When they create these things, everybody's got their own unique perspective on life, and no one really knows what someone else is seeing. We think we're all seeing the same thing. We think we're all hearing the same thing when we're out there, we listen to music, to birdsong. But each individual interprets their world around them. And that's what we do when we come here. We make our own interpretation of the world around us. We bring it here, we distill it, we refine it, and we bring it here as our little piece. And hopefully it excites the people when they come to a show like this. But it's the fact that we're coming here from all around the world, all different ideas, different cultures, different religions, but we all meet here and we exchange our ideas, and that's what this is about.